Now, I think we'll round off with one last speaker here. Matt Carty, MEP.
Come on, Matt.
Goramaiga Henry August, Goramila Maiga Galera, Stockton Jesh, a Hartson, Larch and Sean, you. Thank you very much to all of you for being here. And there's other people who I think we should thank. We should thank KBC and Anglo-Irish and Bank of Ireland and Allied Irish Bank. We should thank Fianna Gael and Fianna Fáil and Labour. We should thank the entire political and financial establishment because they got so greedy, because they become so blatant. We are now at the 6th point in time where the Irish people are alive to the threats that are in front of them, because they were so blatant in handing over 64 billion euro of our money to those banks who brought this economy to its knees in the first place. Because they have been so blatant. And because they have been so upfront, in providing support to the vultures and the banks at every opportunity. Because they are so blatant in handing over distressed mortgages to vulture funds at a fraction of the outstanding loans, while at the same time refusing to allow even an inch of support for the families and the farmers and the businesses who are in those troubled situations. For all of those reasons, Mrs. you had your chance, you were up already. Now, what I will say is this, because
you done it in the 6th occupied country. Your party done it.
You want to get up after me? Do you want to get up after me?
Oh, I will tell the people. I'll tell them.
Okay, there's a lady going to come up after me, and for the next minute and a half, she's going to give me the courtesy of finishing. So let me say this: because of the actions, because of the blatant things, what we have seen since the day the KBC employed thugs dragged the McCann family from their home, with the Gardaí Síochána members watching on as crimes of assaults were being taken place. What we have seen is that we have not just those families who themselves are in distress, who themselves fear that knock on their door from the bailiffs or from the thugs, but we've also seen those other people who struggle to make ends meet, who struggle to make their mortgage payments every month, who struggle to make their childcare payments every week. Ask themselves this: what if it was me? What if it was my family? What if it was in my community? And as a result of that, we have seen the reawakening of a thing that for too long we have been lacking, and that thing is solidarity. Solidarity between families, solidarity between friends, solidarity between communities, the length and breadth of Ireland. I have been not seen in quite some time a outworking of solidarity such as that we have seen for the McGann family, because they know, the McGanns know, we all know it's about much more than this, than them. It's about whether or not we can allow that notion, that principle of solidarity to rise to the top, just like it did in this town in different times when forced evictions were the norm, when the people of Strokestown at that time stood up and were represented. Well, the people of Strokestown and of Roscommon and Ireland are standing up again. And those people who are so blatant, who are so outright in terms of the manipulation of the financial services of this country in the support of one set of people against the best wishes of the majority of people in this country, well, they now need to recognise that their time is coming to an end, because the people are listening and the people are working in solidarity with one another. And it will be, in my view, some time before KBC or any other bank try to send a gang of thugs to any other house in this town, in this county or in this country. So a service has already been done. For what we now need is to ensure that we put in place the legislative supports that are necessary to protect people in their homes. And while, yes, you can get up and you can roar at elected representatives who we don't like. If you don't like them, vote them out! Vote them out! That's the option that's available to us all. In the meantime, stand by the McGanns, stand by the people of Strokestown and County Roscommon, stand by all of those people who are struggling to make ends meet, and above all, let's stand together.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our meeting. We are an hour here now and we have heard lots of speakers, and we'll now disembark from here, and I want everybody to go away peacefully and don't cause any trouble in this town, because I live in this town and I don't want any trouble or any reflection on this meeting. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Goodbye.
No, she wasn't talking to me.
Can I get a couple of quick words with you?
You don't live in one damp room with no electricity.
Let's stand together, man. Let's stand together.
Can I get a quick few words with you? My name is Bernard Sweeney. I'm an Irish traveller, and I thought that Irish Traveller TV reporting.
Okay, good stuff.
How are you?
How are you doing, sir?
It's quite blatant and obvious that Sinn Féin has a big presence here today, supporting the McCann family. I would say also that a lot of mention has been mentioned about evictions, forced evictions that happened 100 years ago. I'm a little curious, what do you think of, how do you compare Irish settled people evicting Irish travellers and Northern Ireland thugs evicting Irish settled people?
The principle is the same. We're opposed to forced evictions. There is always mechanisms by which we can put in place support for people who are in distress and for people can live together in shared communities. That's what Sinn Féin is about. We want people to stand in solidarity. That was the message I was bringing to this gathering here today. There are too many people being targeted by government and financial institutions, whether they be people in the mortgage distress, whether they be from the travelling community, whether they be just ordinary families who are struggling to make ends meet. What we need is all of those people to come together and march together in opposition to the oppressive actions of government and the banks. It's the only way we're going to beat them.
Thank you. If you were to send a direct message to Leo, what would it be?
Listen to the people.
Listen to the people.
Absolutely. Listen
Thank you very much, and well done.
All right.
Hello. You want to say a few words? Will you say a few words? You're more than welcome.
I wouldn't know what to say. I know what I'm saying.
No, you're all right.
The folks that was out for Portland now could have been brought off and body bags. That's how I look at it.
Oh, well, hopefully we'll avoid that. How are you doing?
That girl, you see that blondie girl there?
Yeah, let's talk to you.
She's from Belfast.
Sorry.
Just hold on there a second. She's living in Galway, she's in Belfast. She knows all about what the fucking bridge can do.
They implemented a study measure with the CPP.
Hey, how are you?
Do you want to say a few words?
No, because I don't want she's still giving it.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to the...
Can I get a few words off you? I'm not a traditional reporter. I'm just an ordinary guy doing kind of a podcasting.
My ears are stuck. I have two perforated eardrums, and that's why I'm going like that to hear what you're saying.
Well, say you were quite agitated when the Sinn Féin guy was speaking.
No, it's not being an agitator. Look,
you're agitated by what he was saying?
Because he would stand there being a hypocrite. I'm from the 6 occupied counties, and remember, before they come out of, they were in power with the DUP. They're pulling the wool over people's eyes down, pretending they're against austerity in the 26 counties. When they implemented them up in the 6 occupied counties. There's homeless situation. All that's going on down here is going on up there. They implemented them all.
Do you feel that there's a different Sinn Féin in Northern Ireland than there is in South of Ireland?
No, they're running with the hair and
with the hair, yes. They're hypocrites.
Where's Mick?
In my eyes, and a lot of Republicans, they cease being Republicans. When you go into that Leinster House, you go back to the history of when Leinster House was formed. It was formed by the British after the treaty was signed.
That's right, yeah.
And the country was partitioned, and it was the British set up Leinster House as well as Stormont. Republicans do not go in the Leinster House
to Britain.
or Stormont.
Who put Harris into the job? The fucking Brits.
Yeah.
And would you be representing a group or a movement or an organisation?
Well, no one seems to realise there was a split in Sinn Féin. They run around saying we're all one. There was a split in '86, Rory O'Brady. There was a split then because they wanted to go in and make political careers, plenty of money, and do what all the rest were doing. So if you're a Republican, you don't do that. You're either stand with the people and be with the people. And when they go into that Leinster, that establishment, they have to sign their signature that they will go by the rules of the House, and they can jump up and down in that Leinster House and mouth at each other. That's all part of the game. Or look at me, I said this and I said the other, and I great. Remember Joan Bruton done it, Andy Kenny done it, and then when they went in as a coalition, what did they do? The same as the rest before them. And I do not give two damns where they get a landslide. That's when the people will see that they're no different to the rest. They're part of the establishment. They implemented every one of them austerity measures and more. There's homeless in the streets in the 6 occupied. Same thing's happening up there, but people, and there's a lot of things going on up there that's all suppressed by the media.
Yeah.
And Republicans are getting harassed left, right and centre by the RUC, PS and
happening again.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
That presence of discrimination, racism still exists.
And the RUC, they changed. It's only a name change.
Yeah.
Same carry on. There's over 5,000 British soldiers still up in the 6 occupied counties, but they have it all. Oh, the Good Friday Agreement, that there's peace. Censorship, it's called. The media's been told to make. Oh, they've done a great job.
Thank you.
The more they get, it's never enough. What more? Not enough. And they're not Republican. And that's why I got annoyed, because I cannot listen to somebody standing talking hypocritical shit when they're doing it in the 6. Their party done it in the 6 occupied counties, but people down here aren't aware of it. I am. I went to the eviction courts. I wasn't getting evicted, but I went in. I went into the eviction courts to see what was going on. I was threatened with arrest. I was cautioned many times. I stood up and had it out with the registrar and told the registrar, you have no jurisdiction to do what you're doing in here. I watched a man, an elderly man, clutching a pair of rosary beads sitting. The place was like packed out, and I stood up and I said what I had, which I'd say to anybody. I won't hold back. And a man wanted to read a power of attorney. No, the registrar turned around and said, you're not reading nothing. He says, but it's a power of attorney. I don't care what it is, you're not reading it in my court. So I stood up and I said, hang on a minute. I said, that man is quite within his rights. He's got a legal document, signed in his hand, a power of attorney. He has every right to speak in here. Do you know what the judge turned around and said, I don't want to hear it in my courtroom. I said, well, I want to hear it. And so does everybody else in here. And other people that I didn't know stood up after I stood up and challenged. I done it. I wasn't getting evicted. But I believe in standing, and everybody should stand by their neighbour, because no one knows what tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, or what's ahead of their kids. Because if they get away with this, they'll continue and more. You have to stop it. Stand up and stand by your neighbour. That's what I believe.
Thank you very much, all right? No, you're brilliant.
More, but
you're brilliant. Have a good time.
Hello.
Look after you, yeah?
And you too.
What, are you representing a radio station?
No, I'm not an established reporter or anything. I'm actually a member of the Irish Salver community who set up a TV broadcasting company. And basically we just go around doing bits and pieces like this. Not sure if it's probably my thing, I'm an Irish Salver. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yourselves?
Good luck. I thought you might be from Shannon's side.
No, they're a pack of wasters.
You're dead right. You're dead right.
Hello, my man. How are you?
Any crack with you?
Have you saw a few words?
No, jeez, no.
No, won't I?
Colette spoke to you on it, the GP.
Should they? One second, let's put this off for a second.